Welcome to the Smart Dating Academy podcast. I'm Bela Gandhi, the founder of Smart Dating Academy and your host. I started Smart Dating Academy in 2009 because I had this crazy knack of giving people dating advice that actually worked, that I took. I've been married for almost 25 years, and now my company helps people to date smarter and to find love. This podcast is meant to bring more love into your life, no matter where you are and what you do. And we're here to bring more life into your love. Smart daters, welcome back to this week's podcast. I'm really excited to introduce this spectacularly beautiful human that just appeared across my Zoom screen. And I was like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. This is Lauren Francis. Lauren is a prolific author. She's a love coach. She's got programs, and we're going to talk all things dating and love today. And we've just fallen in love with each other. So newsflash on that. And Lauren, welcome to the Smart Dating Academy podcast.
Thank you for having me with you, Bella.
I'm so excited you're here. Well, tell us a little bit about your background, partners, dating, how you became Lauren Francis.
Oh my God. Well, I've got to say, it is, I really feel like helping people create love is a calling.
Yes.
People that really do it, because it's a crazy, wild thing, right? And I'm not a matchmaker. I am, although I do match people up. I have done that. When I really know a client, somebody, I will see somebody and I'm like, that's your person. And I do that online for clients often. But, I really just fell in love with romance. What can I tell you? I fell in love with sleeping.
You love love.
I love love. Snow White. I used to lie in bed and I used to see like the three little fairy godmothers, bibbledy bobbledy boo over my. I am that girl. So it is really an authentic thing. But I became a publicist, an event planner. I threw a ton of parties. My girlfriends were like, "Why aren't we dating? Just invite us to the party." And so I started inviting my girlfriends and teaching them how to flirt, because they were really bad at it. I've got to say, they were just not great. They were great women, but they weren't great at dating, and they weren't great at flirting, and they weren't great at setting boundaries with men. And they all of a sudden would slip on a, you know what, and wind up having sex when they didn't really mean it. Well, maybe they meant it, but they just didn't plan it. And which can be fun. But anyway, so they needed some dating help. So we created something called the Man Trap Pack. And I was the leader. There was a lookout, a scout, and a sniper. And the scout would just do a little lap and see if there were any cute men. And there was a sniper who would shoot down the lame ducks that were kind of blocking our airspace. Anyway, this is literally how it started. While I was throwing huge events with, Golden Voice and, throwing rap parties for every movie studio. And anyway, it was very fun. So, what happened was I taught them how to flirt, and I would, show them how to kind of flirt with men. I'll give you a little tip.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. So if there's like a little man cluster and you're out in the wild, I mean, I know everybody's dating online, but honestly, in-person flirting is really fun. So, we would be out flirting in the field, and a girl would say, "Oh, that guy's really cute." And I would look at him and I'd go, and call this, it's patented, the come hither hand signal. And then would fly across the room like a falcon. And then when he would get there, I would say, "Nice tie. This is my girlfriend, Marcy. I'm actually going to get a drink. Would you like something to drink? I'll be back." And we called that the handoff. Anyway, it was very cute. And, there were marriages that happened. And what happened was people started rotating in and out of this group so often. My boyfriend actually said, "If you take one more phone call, I'm going to break up with you while we're having sex." I mean, because people were having, I call them love 911s. They're emergencies. You have problems like, when you're actually out in the field.
Of course.
It's a really long description of how, anyway, but anyway, so I wrote it all down and then it got published into a book. So it started called Dating, Mating, and Manhandling, which is now in 8 languages. And it got published in many years ago. I'm not going to say it, it's going to date me, but there's many reprints of it. And since then, I sold in Victoria's Secret stores. I was their Flirt Fairy, and done a lot of things, a lot of the same things that you've done. But my sweet spot is really helping single women create what I call legendary love and bodice ripping romance. And we'll talk later about how I do those things, but long-winded, but it has been like the joy of my life to help women blossom and create love.
I love that. I love that. And I think flirting is something so many women and men, like people ask us all the time, like, oh my God, I don't know how to flirt. If someone came to you and said that, what would you tell them?
I would just show them, because there are a lot of what I call antiquated flirt tips for people,
Totally.
which, what are the ones that you hear?
Oh gosh. I mean, right. The bend and snap. I'm kidding. Right. If we look at Legally Blonde. Those from Legally Blonde. Oh, so funny where she's like, bend, drop your pen, bend, and snap. And
that works.
Right.
I'm just going to say, just do that. If you're watching this, you can stop watching this right now.
Right.
Just
bend and snap. Bend and snap. So, and if you haven't seen Legally Blonde, you are missing.
My friend wrote Legally Blonde. Yes, of course we've seen it. Yes. Well, so if you are not going to just drop things and don't feel comfortable about having your posterior in the flapping in the breeze, what you can do is, the best way to break the ice with anybody is to smile, right? And to look at something that they're wearing or they're doing. It really works with men, also women too. But before the Zoom, Bella made me feel so comfortable because you were like, oh my God, look, your pink lipstick matches your jacket. And I was just like, oh. And we had a whole chat about pink.
I was flirting with you.
She was. She's like an unbelievable flirt. It's a good thing we're separated by the internet because
I'm going to jump through the screen.
In your lap. I don't know what's going to happen.
Jumping through the Zoom screen right now.
We can feel the love. So, but the best way to compliment men is and I've said this like a zillion times, but you just you look at something they're wearing or they're doing. You don't compliment something that God gave them, like amazing looks, but you can compliment somebody's abs because they worked for them. And you just go, nice tie. I love those shoes. If they're wearing a black t-shirt, you can go, oh my God, I love that color on you. And men will look down and smile, right? But it doesn't seem like you're hitting on them. Most women don't want to feel like they're actively pursuing men, right? A lot of women don't feel comfortable sitting alone at a bar with a book, which is just like, so unless you're reading Dating, Mating, and Manhandling, and then everyone's going to want to know what you're doing.
What you're doing.
What are you doing? Depends on, I guess, the kind of book you're reading. But so if it's just noticing people, men walk around unnoticed. They do feel unnoticed, like they do the looking, but they often feel very unseen in their lives and very invisible. So if you just throw them it's like you don't say men compliment women by saying you're beautiful, right? They compliment women by saying, oh, you look gorgeous, or
I love your dress.
Love that dress. They do the same thing. They've picked up that tip. But yeah, just compliment, love that car. Where'd you get that car? Wait, is that a Caddy? Anything automotive, anything. That's why in these dating profiles, they're like hanging off of cliffs. They've got big fish. If you don't know why men post pictures of fish, it's because they're saying, I'm a catch. I don't know that anybody needs that explained to them in this day and age. Please don't post those photos. If are men watching this podcast, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Don't do it. Nobody wants dead animals in photos. ever.
Handsome. Exactly.
It's not flirty.
It's not flirty.
It's not.
So yeah, so that's the best way to flirt is to just notice people and just compliments it, or ask them for have you seen this movie? Have you heard of this? What's the best drink that they make at this bar?
Exactly. Like, ask their opinion on something. Like, I'm thinking about, should I get an espresso martini or my standard glass of Cabernet? Like, what do you think?
What do you think?
Help me decide.
I can't understand. I don't understand this menu. It's in English.
Right. Exactly.
They'll be like, wait, you're speaking English. And you're like, oh, wait, I forgot where I was.
Right.
I could be in France. We don't know.
Right. It is, the definition of flirting is connecting with someone. People, ladies, you think you whip your hair around and bend and snap. I know I started with that. That's not flirting. It's like Lauren is saying, you see somebody, you pay attention to them, you say something nice, you smile, you let them know you see them. That is all it takes to flirt. That's it.
And this is also true about relationships and keeping love alive in relationships, because what happens is people fall in love because they feel seen as the person that they wish to be seen as. And love often fades when you stop looking at your partner the way, that they liked, right? When they're, you're looking at them like they're your hero, or when they're looking at you like you're the most divine creature that's ever graced, this side of a half shell, right? Rising out of the sea, like Venus. And all of a sudden you're a normal person, you're off your pedestal. He farted. I'm sorry, right? It's like, he's a real person,
You're mortal.
You're mortal. You're allergic to dust. And, so what you want to do is you want to notice and kind of reaffirm the romance, the lover in that person, you are so handsome. This is another tip. If you're in a relationship, if you come up with a nickname and you call your guy handsome or, lover boy or Superman. Hi, Superman. How's it going there in Gotham? If they're at the office, right? It gives them a little lift. It does the flirting for you.
I love that. Create a nickname that's masculine, superhero-esque. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. Easy, easy, easy.
Instead of, old-timey tips, which were like stare and then look away, which just makes you look like, let's do it both together, Belle, and let's show them how scary this is. All right, you're a stranger, and woman looks at you like this. Makes you look like you've got a tick. If there's anything wrong with having a tick, but I don't think that was the point. It's like, why is that woman staring at me? Also, if you do things without smiling, men think that they're in trouble. They've gotten in trouble. So if you're going to flirt, if you're going to go nice sports watch, they are going to be like, whoa. What's wrong?
Sarcastic. What's wrong with it? Yeah.
Right. So you always have to remember that, you need to talk to strangers like they're kind of young children.
Yes, like you talk to babies. When we see babies, our visceral response is we smile. And when we smile, our vocal tone elevates and becomes more melodious, right? And talks to a baby like, hey, you're hot. You're so cute.
What a cute baby. Hi, baby.
You're so cute. Right now, we're being a little bit dramatic here, but when you're flirting, and if you're going to do this, it's funny. I did a TV segment yesterday with my friend Sylvia Perez in Chicago on Fox, and we talked about sticky eyes. And she said, Bella, somebody sent me this reel on TikTok, or it was going viral, and it was called Sticky Eyes. And she sent it to me. She was like, can we talk about sticky eyes? I said, sure, we can talk about sticky eyes. And so it was really that. And I said, you can't just stare someone down because you might look like you want to kill them. So you have to smile. Smiling is everything.
You can smile and just think, I'd like to kill you.
Right. Gently.
They won't know.
Gently.
The thoughts are for the inside.
Exactly. Smile on the outside. And if you make eye contact with someone just longer than feels comfortable, that's kind of a sign when you're smiling that they're checking you out. But you know what you have to do? Ladies and gentlemen, put down your damn phones and you need to look around and look who's around you and make eye contact with people. If you're too nervous of, oh, I'm here by myself, I feel weird, I'm gonna have my AirPods on and my phone or my book and keep your head buried, you're not gonna know who's looking at you.
Right. That's right. You don't notice your environment. And this is why people walk around, and it also truthfully is challenging because this has replaced social anxiety. This is like the version of a martini for people. They're just walking around on their phones. They don't have to really deal with the fact that there are people in the world that might be looking at them, that might be interested or disinterested, right? They're closed off. People are closed off.
Yeah.
When you want to create love, you want to open up your world. And I compared. So in my book, Dating, Mating, and Manhandling, it really gives you really specific how-to tips to create love, also to set boundaries for, when you're dating, when you're mating, copulating, and, when you're partnering. But I totally forgot what the whole point of I compared men to birds in my book. Because birds, right, like men, they get startled when you make fast moves. They often flee in an attempt to resist, being trapped or what I call emotional arrest. They don't want to get locked in a cage. They want to build a nest around you, which is what women would like. And, being pleasant, being, not being, being open without being being aggressive with men really allows them to step forward and do that with you. So doing like this very neutral, like the sticky eye, just the eye thing, I think for a lot of women that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I do. I think that that's uncomfortable. And also a guy might be on his phone and not really be looking at you. So just interact and go, oh my God, excuse me. Should I get?
What do you think?
Yeah, but that looks yummy. Is it worth it? Right? Is that worth the calories? And also making a joke about anything.
Exactly. It's light.
So helpful. If you make a joke about someone's joke, they also think you're a genius.
I remember being, when I first started the business and God, it was a million years ago, 2009, 2010. And I remember having a whole bunch of books around me and reading and researching and doing all the things. And I looked up and I was at a Starbucks and this guy is walking right towards me. And I looked up and I must have smiled. And he's like, what do you have your head buried in?
Oh.
And it was so funny and it was fine. And I said, I'm doing some research on blah, 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 blah. And turns out he's married. I'm married. We just became friends. It was a fun conversation. He's like, I have some clients that I work with that need to do Smart Dating Academy. And so all I did was look up and smile and look approachable. I don't even remember doing it. It wasn't something I tried to do. It's like at a certain point when you do it enough, it becomes natural. You look at someone, you smile, right? And that was enough for me. I lost an hour. I didn't get to finish my research, but I met a new friend and we chit-chatted and it was great. And that's all you need to do. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, even if someone was married.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You're not saying, hey, would you like to have an affair with me? You're just practicing sticky eyes. You're practicing giving a compliment. If that person freaks out and is like, oh, that's great, I'm sorry, I'm married, it says more about their level of anxiety than anything else. It's not a normal person response.
Exactly. And all you have to do, if you're ever talking to someone, you just go, oh my God, lucky girl.
Right.
Well, it was a delight to meet you, Andre. Have a fabulous day.
Exactly.
Exit stage left.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. She's really lucky. You're awesome. It was fun talking. Bye.
Social, like, the art of social intercourse, the gift of gab, learning how to, as an event planner and a publicist and, somebody who, I love creating events, leading large seminars, taking women on tours to Italy and like, I love that. And, learning how to talk to people in a fun conversational way is really a skill. It's a learnable skill. And dating requires that you actually, I'm going to share a really funny story.
Please.
So I have this, I can't believe you and I have never met. How is that possible? I just
like the best first date.
It's so good. So I do this program called the Love Magnet Makeover, and women.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, it's awesome. It's the most moving thing I do. Women fly in from all over the world. I do them several times a year in groups, and then I do them one-on-one with private clients. But I'm doing one in Palm Beach. Everybody's flying in, and we go shopping. We have a makeover day, this beauty day. It's just like, celebrities look like celebrities because they hire stylists. They hire my team. My photographer won Photographer of the Year award. He shot Serena Williams. So I have this amazing, LA glam squad. Anyway, so we go shopping, we do beauty makeovers, we have like a makeup lesson, hairstyle, the hairstylist, and then we go shopping for your dating wardrobe, your romance wardrobe, because everyone's a romantic lifestyle brand, whether you know it or not. You are. It could scream soccer mom. It could scream I'm a widower and still sad. People usually dress the way that when they go out on dates in whatever decade they were last single in.
Boy.
And but everybody needs a little refresh. So I work with a lot of women who are like suddenly single, seriously single, whatever's going on. And also women who are in relationships that just want to fluff up. So they fly in, and then we do these amazing photographs. It's an all-day photo shoot. We're going to the breakers. It's going to be a ball. And we go to fun places and just girls' night out. It's very, very fun. But then we launch everybody online. So I launched a client of mine, Susan. She is on my website. She gave me an amazing testimonial, but this was so hilarious. Susan worked with vets who were had trauma, terrible PTSD. And she was, I think at this time, in her mid to late 50s. She was not a size 2. She's probably like a 12 or 14, but beautiful. And honestly, if you think that men only want to date size 2s or that men only want to date young women, you are so wrong.
So wrong. So wrong.
Tell them why, Bella.
They want real women that are beautiful, and they want partners. They want women who emanate warmth and kindness and the desire to be a good partner. Now I know you're probably sitting there, listeners, saying, well, all the guys in my age bracket only want to date 25-year-olds. You're looking at the wrong guys. If those guys want to date 25-year-olds, pass them by. That's not your guy. If you tell yourself, these guys only want this, that's what you're going to see. It's an ego bias of your brain. So when you say, there's so many great guys out there, no matter what I look like, what my size is,
There's a lid to my pot, and he is out there.
That's what my Aunt Blanche used to say. There's a lid to every pot, pot to every lid. So what happens is, but a lot of women that are over 40, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, and even in their 30s, they come to me and we do like a romantic rebrand, and we go, okay, who do you want to be when it comes to love, right? Just like celebrities that are going on, you're casting for the most important job in your life. So, you're casting your leading man, right? So these online profiles, when you're dating, you need to reflect your values and your energy and your personal brand of love and romance. So anyway, we launch her. She gets a zillion responses. She'd gone from getting nothing. Everybody was fat. She said, bald. There's nothing wrong with bald men, but she didn't like bald men. And they were fat, bald, and broke. And all of a sudden, she had been with yachts, handsome men. She was like, where were all these men? These men came out of the woodwork and noticed her with new photos and new marketing. But this is what was happening. So she was going out. So we have coached her one-on-one also. I said, so how's it going? And she said, well, it's not going great. And I said, I'm so confused. I thought that you had 4 dates this week. And she said, I did, but I don't know what happened. Like, I thought they were okay, but then they didn't call. They didn't ask me out on second dates. One guy patted me on the back as I left, which is not a good sign. So at least he didn't pat her on the bottom.
Oof.
But
red flag.
So that's the snap and bend. That's what you get from the snap and bend.
Absolutely.
There we go. We worked that in. See, I made a joke about the joke.
I love it.
I'm a genius.
You are a genius.
Anyway, or funny. So, okay. So what happens is I'm like, okay, so yeah, I said, what's happening? She said, well, they're talking about their boats and their private planes and their, homes. And I'm like, yeah, okay. What's wrong with that? She said, well, I don't know. I said, well, what are you saying when they tell you what, all the stuff they've got, right? Which is, men again.
They're signaling.
They're peacocking. They're trying to impress you. I always say that a man that isn't impressed with you will not try to impress you. But if a man, like on first dates, women are like, oh my God, all I did was talk. He's got this, he's got that, he's got that. I'm like, oh, he really liked you. And women always say, no, he's a narcissist. I'm like, no, he's just trying to tell you, my sperm is amazing. Pick me, please. He'll calm down on a second date. Anyway, so we're talking about Susan. So we're talking about Susan's dates, and they're bragging. And I said, well, what did you say? And she said, well, now you got to remember, she listens to vets who are traumatized. So what does she do for a living?
She's a therapist. She listens.
Yeah. She doesn't talk. She goes, mm-hmm. Mm.
Oh, that must be hard.
Yeah, that must be so hard. You're having your plane in your Aston Martin. Must be
hard.
So she said, well, I don't want them to think I'm a gold digger. And I said, Susan, here is the thing. They're not going to think you're a gold digger if you're impressed with the stuff that they worked really hard to build. Some people inherit it, but a lot of people work really hard for the stuff that they've got. And they want to know, this is the number one thing that men want from women. Let me see if you agree with this. Men want to know that they can make you happy.
Absolutely.
That's why they left their last wife. She wasn't happy anymore. And that's why they call her a D. That's why they say she's crazy, because how could she not be happy with him? Now, maybe there are a lot of reasons why she wasn't happy with him.
You can see my eyes rolling back and forth. So what did you do to her?
But men really want to know that they can make you happy. And on a first date, they are going to be seeing if they can fill your bill with whatever they've got that could delight you. So I said, all right, Susan, here is what we are going to do on your next dates. This is your mission. You are going to be really impressed. When they tell you got to face a plane, you're going to say, that's amazing. Do you fly it yourself?
Game changer.
Game changer. When they say, I've got an Aston Martin, just go, you've got to be kidding. Is it, what? Do you race that?
I didn't even know real people had that.
What do you mean you have like an Aston Martin in Hawaii? How did it even get here? Right? You don't have to act like you're an idiot. I'm just doing this for dramatic effect. But I swear to God, men will be happy. You just want to kind of figure out how to draw them out. Why did you get an Aston Martin? That's so interesting. Like of all the cars in all the land, I mean, I love that car, but why is it the best?
Right. It's like, you must be so proud of that.
Don't
That's all you have to say.
Yeah, exactly. Or you don't even have to say you must be proud of it. You just say, I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's talking about it. I didn't mean to correct you there, but like.
No. I like the nuance.
Yeah, it's like a little distinction where it's just like, you don't want to make them aware that they're bragging, but you want to like encourage them to talk. Because here's the thing, men are people too.
Yes, they're like little boys on the playground.
And we're like little girls. We just are like, does my ass look fat? Like, I don't know. I'm not having a good hair day. I don't know. Do I like him? So this is what I said to Susan. I was like, Susan, this is your job. You, every date you're throwing a date. You're not going on a date. You're going to throw the date. This is your party. You need to be the life of it. You need to be the star of it.
You're the host.
You're the host. And your job is to make sure everybody has a good time. You do not need to go home with him. You never need to see him again. Your job is to make sure that you are a fun date, which all that means is that you're enthusiastic and, you're present.
And what happened to Susan?
She got married. Like she met somebody 3 dates later. Might have been 2.
That's amazing. And was Susan a career woman also?
Yeah, she was. She worked with vets at the VA that they were suffering from PTSD.
Wow.
The Afghan war. Like she was working with and that's the other thing too. It's just like she is a caretaker, like so many professional women. She works hard. And honestly, did she need to come home? Like the thing that I told her is she needed to find somebody who she did not need to emotionally fix.
Yes.
They needed to be happy.
On their own. With their Aston Martins and their planes.
You can be unhappy in a mansion.
Hell yeah, you can. Hell yeah, you can.
I want to find somebody who's happy. You can't have a happy relationship. This is the big takeaway. If you want to be in a happy relationship, find a happy person.
And women are like diamonds. Okay, we're multifaceted.
Yes.
And the facet that I want you to spin around on your dates is happy you. Men, as you said, men want to know that they can make you happy. And what's even a step above that is if you walk in happy.
Right.
Right? It's like, oh my gosh, she's happy on her own and she hasn't even been in the Aston Martin. Can you imagine? She's going to look like the mind blown emoji when she gets in there because she's already joyful.
Right.
On her own.
You're not an energy suck.
No.
Not a Debbie Downer. A lot of women are waiting for men to make them happy and activate them. A lot of women also don't want to, a lot of women sit back and actually withhold their approval of men because they don't want men to get the wrong idea, which is that you like them. Now,
The right idea in dating.
But, a lot of times women have a hard time saying no. So if you have a hard time saying no, you have a hard time saying yes. So, call me, read the book, whatever, call Bella. We'll tell you how to gracefully stop a date. All you have to do is just get up and go to the restroom and say, oh my God, thank you so much for taking time to meet. My dog has just apparently thrown up all I've got to go.
Period.
Terrible date. If it's a terrible date, if he's a jerk, if he's arguing with you about politics, good grief. You never stay on a bad date.
No, it's not worth it. And you know how you stave this off? If you can, ladies and gentlemen, have a video date beforehand.
Thank you.
Crazy cannot hide more than 15 minutes, okay? You all know I say this all the time. If somebody's truly bananas, it's going to come hopping out of the closet on that video call.
Yes.
And having that date creates that connection already where you feel like, oh my gosh, they look just like their photos or better, or we had all these things to talk about, right? And so you already create this connection that makes that first in-person meeting less daunting. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, what if I don't recognize the person? Of course you're going to recognize them because you've seen them on video. And at Smart Dating Academy, if somebody says no to a basic request of having a video date, I'm like, is it because his wife doesn't want to know that he's dating? Like, why would he say no to a video date, right? I don't want my wife to see. Whatever it is, say yes to doing video. It saves you a heck of a lot of time. To this date, the only real disappointing dates my clients go on are when they skipped video.
Yes, smart. Smart. I had a client who gone on a video date and looked at the man. The man was a hoarder. Like, she couldn't believe how he was living. So you can see a lot of information, not only about him, but about his environment.
Oh, yeah. Like, sometimes I was on a call with someone and like you could only see up to like their nose, not even their nostrils. I'm like, this is really distracting. Can you move your camera? Right. Like, it's just, you see weird, right? And you can't, it was just like, wait, why doesn't your camera work? Like, are you under witness protection? Like, what is this?
Don't like your smile?
So strange.
That's so strange. That's very
so yes, absolutely. And then bring your A game. If you want to have fun on the date, like we're saying here, be the fun, bring your happy.
Your date, don't go to a coffee shop if they depress you. Meet at a hotel lobby bar, go someplace beautiful. You never need to, go someplace where it's going to flatter you, or just lift you up. I also feel like, The reality is that most people are not your person.
Amen. Say it again for the people in the back.
Most people are not your person. So these dates that you're going on, I think you need a different A game, a different mindset. I think that you are I think if you just think about it like, okay, I'm going to meet a new potential friend. I am meeting someone who has a desire to create connection and love. That is my kind of person. My kind of person is the kind of person that actually cares about whatever it is that you mutually decided you cared about before you set up the date. So that's why finding points of connection, to your point, before you get on the date is really super valuable. Can we talk about politics for a second in dating? The politics?
Absolutely. And then we're going to come back to, I want to know after your magnet makeover, what do people wear on their dates? So we'll come back to that.
My God. So the politics of dating right now are it is like a roiling, boiling
powder keg.
It's a powder keg. And I will say that that's if you are on saluting a particular stripe and you have commitment to it, it's like finding a needle in a haystack is much easier if that haystack is just a handful of hay and not a stack. You don't need a million options. You need qualified romantic leads, right? So don't be afraid to put anything in your profile that actually winnows people out that you will never want to partner.
Yes. If you are a card carrying X or Y, and that's important to you, it's okay to say it.
Put it in the profile, put it in your profile. It will just, why bother having it's like the thing is that you're busy. Everybody on this, if you're listening to this podcast, you want to create love, or you're just obsessed with Bela, which I understand because I'm now obsessed with Bela also. I mean, what a delightful person and just such valuable information. But, beyond entertainment, you want to apply these principles. So, the thing is that if you have I had a client who is a feng shui master. If you don't know what feng shui is, it's a way of setting up your home so that there's maximum flow. And I've got a big plant right there because it's really good for the energy of my house. And I've got like a fountain, because it's great for wealth and anyway, so she's a feng shui master. But about 10 years ago, when I worked with her, I looked at her profile and we did, she needed a makeover. And I think her profile name was Evergreen 49802 or something really just
whatever.
So when she was writing her profile and I looked at it, I said, oh, it's so interesting. You don't put anywhere that you're a feng shui master. She's like one of the great people, most respected, lauded, celebrated, 18 books. Her name is Kartar Diamond. I've now outed her, but get on her newsletter. Her stuff is amazing. So if you want to move, she can check the coordinates of your house and make sure that you're going to be happy there. Anyway, so I said, wow, it's so interesting. You don't have anything about that in your profile. And it's such a part of what you do. She said, well, I don't want anybody to think I'm weird. And I said, newsflash, you are. What you do, really straight-laced guys are going to find that if potentially off-putting, although not so much now, it's more in the zeitgeist of the culture. But you don't want to talk to those men anyway. The profile's supposed to weed men out as well as pull them in. So we did the makeover, shopped, did photos, rewrote the profile, feng shui master right there in black and white so everybody could see it. And the man that she wound up with, you can't make this up, makes feng shui fountains as a hobby.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh.
Feng shui fountains. Also, what she did not put in her profile is that her son is severely developmentally disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what he does for a living? He counsels developmentally disabled children in high school. Okay. This was her second date.
Lid meat pot.
But even things that were not in the profile were compatibility coordinates, I call them. So can you tell I like alliteration? So
absolutely,
dating is depressing enough. You need to be cheered up. So anyway, the thing is that if you're not specific about who you are, then you're going to get a lot of random things. And people literally will argue with you right now about politics on dates, on the phone. Don't do any of it. Just go, no, thank you. And in fact, I've had a couple of clients, and this is really interesting. I don't think that liberals know that calling somebody a Trumper is actually insulting. They want to be called conservatives. And liberals do not want to be called libtards. They just don't. Call me crazy. I don't know why. But I had a couple of clients who were very liberal, but kind of open-minded. And they were in very red states. And I had a client that was dating somebody, and he was hiding his MAGA. He was tucking his MAGA in because she was so hot. He did not, he was like, you can't get any hot girls. This was the ultimate, you can't get hot girls, and say that was what he said, but that's not true.
So he thought he couldn't pull a hot chick if he had his MAGA gear on.
He couldn't pull her. Like she was his version of a hot chick.
She was liberal.
Super liberal, but open-minded. So they started dating because they were both, guess what, super hot. And, as the election ramped up, he started getting very heated about his politics. Wow. And they'd agreed to disagree. But it was such a core fundamental thing for him that he said to her one night, I'm going to convert you.
Convert.
So, nobody, you're a grown ass woman. You don't need to be converted. If you want to change your mind, you can. And it's okay to, understand how people think and ask them, oh, that's so interesting. The best thing to do is if you're on a date and you get caught in this kind of moment, and it just really clearly seems like it's going to be a dividing line, what you can say is, wow, I really love respecting the fact that people get to have their own points of view. And I love also feeling, respected, but I'm so interested about the commonalities and what we do agree on. Right? Because I think he said,
great way to segue back.
I'm a patriot. And he said, oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm a patriot too. Right? That's what she said. And so it's like finding some common ground, but they were too polarized to actually come together. And, politics are what, their bedtime talk, they're the news that you watch. So it's really okay to just find your tribe.
Yes. 100%.
Don't try to convert them. Don't, let them try to convert you unless you're agnostic politically, but, there's very few of those people.
Yes.
Right now.
Exactly. So if you heavily lean one way, and you cannot possibly sit in the company of somebody that does not share your ideology, put it in your profile. Just put it there in black and white. And then, they'll blow over it if you're hot enough. And then, you might have to bring it up. No, what did you think about? And they'll be like, I think it's the greatest thing. If you hear that, just, it's just a first date. You just met somebody new for the first and last time, potentially. For the first and last time. Oh my gosh, I love this. Well, are there any gems that I haven't asked you about that you want to drop on our dear listeners?
Don't want to exhaust everybody, but
not at all. Are you kidding?
Are there gems for, pick a topic? I'm like,
what to wear on the dates after you do this makeover? You take them shopping and they're in their pink dresses and their pink lipstick and they're glammed up. And now they go home.
The thing is that what you want to do is you want to date in a way that makes you feel beautiful. So it's like when I take women out shopping, I ask them, what to pick a romantic style icon. And then I kind of look at their wardrobe. We pre-shop their closet first before they come. We get clear about their shopping budget. And I can make anybody look like $1 million, with whatever budget they've got. And the photos are just like, so I'll shamelessly promote this. If you go to the Love Magnet Makeover on my website, it's under the events page. You'll see like what women, I could share the screen, what they looked like when they got to me and then what they looked like afterwards. And it's just like, and it is a game changer because I don't know what happens. A lot of women after postmenopausal women or women who have had children and, just feel like they've lost their wow.
Their mojo.
Or, women who have had cancer and recovered. I mean, I've worked with everything. Women who've had alopecia, women who are every
Been
size.
cheated on,
Oh,
dumped.
yeah. Yeah. Women who have had every kind of, women who've been traumatized, abused. Like one of the things that's very healing about the work that I do is that a lot of women have not been supported in feeling beautiful by other women. A lot of women have critical moms. A lot of women have sisters that were really like, Cinderella, right? They felt like Cinderella. And, they call me their fairy godmother because they come and it's literally like, I just have a way of looking at you and supporting you in being the most, authentic, but most attractive version of yourself that you can be. And it's funny because, with dating filters and all of that, what it doesn't change is that doesn't change your wardrobe.
No.
And also, if you do dating filters, like they're gonna meet you in person. So you need to look like you. So you need to know like what makeup looks good on you, what hairstyle works, what a good, women don't know what skirt. It's like you don't want to just buy trendy stuff. You want to learn how to dress for your figure, right? You want to wear colors. I put women in colors they never would normally wear. Right. And what happens is you go home with and the photos that are, I wore those earrings with those shoes and that skirt. And we do like 5 different outfits all in one day. And the response is, okay, this is how wild the responses are. I had a client, Patty. Okay, here's Patty's story. Patty had stage 4 cancer. They thought she was going to die. She prayed to God. She was like, God, I was teaching a class called Legendary Love. I've got a program called Lauren's Love Club, which is like a monthly program, which is very fun. But she was listening to my podcast and she was like, God, if I live, I'm going to go to the Man Magnet Makeover. I'm going to do that program. And so she called me. She was a teacher and I gave her a big discount. Because I couldn't help. The story was so beautiful. And literally we launched her online and a man that she had dated did not recognize that this was the same person. She'd actually dated him, not just like once, like she dated him for a couple of months, didn't recognize her. And I said, okay, listen, here's the thing. She's like, I don't really want to date him again. I was like, yeah, but you just got to go and show up for the date.
In your new and improved way.
I just said, hi. I think did we meet somewhere before? And they did date again, but she broke up with him that time.
Right. Well, he was an ex for a reason.
He broke it up with her first.
Oh, geez.
She got to date. I mean, she did like him. She was hurt, but then, yeah, she got to break up. Anyway, there are so many love stories, crazy love stories.
I love that. I love that. We do such similar work. We've been.
Have you been?
I know this.
Yeah, we've been on different shows.
It's really exploring.
So great.
Pardon?
What we do is so great. And the people that do what we do, it's a great little club.
It's a great little club. And you don't do this for the fame or the money or the this or the that, because you'll be in the game for 5 minutes. You do this because you have a real desire. You love, you love people, and you love helping people. I always say that's my holy trinity. And showing men and women, and we coach men too, how to be the best versions of themselves, and just the simple wardrobing and the makeup and the new photos. It's funny. I have a client named Fred and Fred went through our whole program at Smart Dating Academy, and he, I said, these are the kinds of clothes I want you to get. You're going to wear these to the photo shoot. You're going to look like the man with the plan. So he's like, okay. And he did these new photos, and he calls me, and he's the guy that would call. He's like, Coach, I got a message from a woman that had basically, like, I forget the words escaping me, like what you do on eHarmony. She had closed me out on eHarmony. And I was like, so? I said, I don't think she knows who you are. Your photos look so markedly different. He goes, I'm kind of holding a grudge. What do you think? I said, you're not going to hold a grudge. That was not her fault that your photos looked terrible. Message her back. And they are now married.
There you go.
That's simple.
Mic drop.
That's simple.
Mic drop. I didn't know that you did makeovers.
Oh my gosh, we've done them forever we don't do them en masse in groups, but we do individual clients. So every person we're looking at, we want you to have these kinds of things. We want you to bring these kinds of things. So we do different things. We're not shopping with them, which I think is so fun. I want to come and shop with you.
We're gonna find fun ways to work together.
Oh my gosh, for sure. And
so fun.
It makes a big difference. And if you're thinking about whatever, you guys, you're worth it. And you're worth, sometimes like, oh, it's so expensive. It's like kitchen cabinets what's more important than you? Nothing. Period. Full stop. You're worth this, and give yourself a new lease on life, because the lid to your pot, there are many lids to your cute little pot. And remember, why do I say lid to your pot? Because a pot is complete on its own. A pot can do the job. It can do the job well. But a lid just makes it a little nicer, makes it feel a little more complete.
Makes it
a little more versatile. Yeah, exactly. You can steam it, you can take it off. So that's why we call it the lid to your pot. You are complete, you are whole, and you're worth whatever it is you want to do. You have one life to live. Make it a good one.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. So, Lauren, this was like amazing. I'm so glad to have done this podcast with you and to have met a new friend. If people want more of you, where should they go?
You can go to my website, which is Lauren Francis. It's F-R-A-N. It's Lauren, like Ralph Lauren, Lauren, Francis, FRANCES.com, or you can Google the Love Magnet Makeover. And on Instagram, I'm Lauren Francis Love, blah, blah, blah. All the social stuff. You'll find it.
I love that. You're amazing. Thank you so much for dropping your gems on us and for flirting with me for a while.
And thanks for enjoying my outfit.
Oh my gosh, I love your outfit, and thanks for sticky-eyesing with me.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
All right. Well, smart daters, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And remember, if you like this episode, share it with people that need some magnetic love. Give it 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram at Smart Dating Academy. And if you finally think you're worth it, go to smartdatingacademy.com, fill out a damn contact form, and do the thing, okay? Because you're worth it. Until our next episode, I bid you farewell and a week full of love.